Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where in this wonderful world you might be. Thank you for making us part of your day. It's a new week, blank canvas. Let's paint pictures, let's tell stories. It's Monday Madness.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
What's up, squaddies? We're back live together. It's Monday Madness, and here once again in studio, my podcast brother from another mother, Mr. Super Kevin Campbell.
Squaddies, good to be back at E. Squaddies, let's go.
All right, everyone, we got the usual suspects in the house. We've got Trevor, we got Tammy, we got Archangel, we got Universal Greek, we got Liz, Suraj, we have Rich in the house, we got Gooners in the house, Harvey is here, Bigsy's here. They're all here. CM. By the way, Lone Star London are getting the chat started right at the beginning, Kev, without anyone in the room.
Nice.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Shelley, good evening to you. Harvey, anyone I've missed, my
Hello,
apologies.
everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome
Gooner
to
8
Monday Madness.
Kev, what a win yesterday. Did you enjoy that? Were you working for Sky or Stadium Astro yesterday?
No, I was doing an offshoot yesterday. Something a bit private, which somebody wanted me to do, which was very nice actually to do. And
Nice.
did I enjoy it? Well, you bet your life I did. And you know what? It was another Kev Campbell derby, wasn't it? So it was another. I've got 3 in the Premier League now. So I remember speaking to Mr. Dorr, who's a big Forest fan, as you know.
Bless him. Great channel, by the way.
A great chat. And you know what? We were talking about legacy games in the Premier League and the old First Division. And Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest is a legacy game. It's one of those games where Nottingham Forest, the history that they've got, Arsenal's history, you put them together and it's a legacy game. And 23 years is a long time before we've had a league game like this at the top flight. So, and I said to them, look, I know you've had some good results, but the way we're going at home, and we need to respond. I said, I think it's going to be a bit too much for you. And I think it proved that, Soph. We tend to start very fast at home. And we make it difficult for the best teams. We made it difficult for Spurs, Liverpool, everyone at home. And, you know, Forest was no exception. But what I will say, Sophie, is what a fantastic header. What by Martinelli. Stooped so low, past a very experienced centre-back in Cook. Because he was on the move. And many times he stays out wide, doesn't he? But what did he do? He came right across the centre half. What a header. And what a ball in from Bukayo Saka, who he was only on 27 minutes. He got kicked about eight times, but was very lively. And you know what? After we scored, we kind of went into our shell a little bit, just played in front of them. Yeah, we could have scored more. But you know me, I like to go for the jugular early. If you get 2 or 3 goals up, then you can cruise. We were cruising at 1-0. Didn't like it. Let Forest back into the game a little bit. And if it weren't for Benny Blanco, so it might have been 1-1. Gabriel with a loose pass in our own box. And Ben bailed his mate out with a last-ditch challenge. Absolute brilliant tackle. So, you know, that keeps you kind of a bit on tenterhooks about Arsenal sometimes. Can we put teams away? But Sophie, second half, wow. Mikel Arteta obviously had something to say at half time because the way they came out second half, they came out with a purpose. They came out looking to be positive. And I'm going to say it from now. I never saw it happening, Sophie. Did you see Reece Nelson coming up with a couple of goals yesterday and an assist? I never saw it coming. And I'm sure that might be one of your questions after. So
it is.
I'm not
it's on my talking points.
Yeah, so I'm not going to delve too deep into that. But he comes up with a couple of sweet goals, played very well. He started on the right and finished on the left and was back. He was all over the place. He was even at centre forward when he scored one of the goals. So he's got license to wander and do damage. Saliba, look, I thought the whole team done really well, especially second half. We stuck to our guns. There was no foolishness. We played with a purpose. And Sophie, I've just got to say this. Thomas Partey, by the way. Listen, people want to. What was that? People want to. We've got a Ferrari in the garage, but no wheels.
Lamborghini. He actually said Lamborghini.
All right, a Lambo. Ferrari, Lambo, it's the same difference. So, Sophie, let me tell you something. Without this guy, we are not the same team. Without this guy, we are not the same team. Talk about control of a game, an incision pass. He was a surgeon yesterday, and to come up with that goal as well, Soph. And then Captain Odegaard, who is much maligned at times, who I thought had a really good game, comes up with the fifth goal. The only issue that some Arsenal fans might have is Jesus never scored. But do you know what, Sophie?
Tell him, Kev.
We're going to get to that at the end.
We are.
but I'm telling you now, Gooners, Gabriel Jesus, we need him in this team so much, because without him, we cannot knit things together like we do. We are a better team. Even though we didn't score, we are a much better team with him in it. And you saw the quality he's got. He's involved in everything. Sophie, 5-0 at home. Did anybody... I've got a question for you, Soph.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody say to you we look tired?
Nobody.
So isn't that funny? We win 5-0 and nobody's tired. But yet, when we struggle, oh, they look tired. Just funny, that, isn't it?
You've never been one for the tired argument, Kev.
Not in October.
No, not in October. Everyone's calling you the general tonight. Brilliant opening there from Super Kev. Analysis of the game yesterday. So I'm gonna go as far. And you know what? I don't want to hear this, but Partey, we were playing against Forest. Everyone, I was on TalkSport with Paul Ross last night, and they were talking about. I said, stop it. They beat Liverpool last week. To be honest with you, Kev, Forest had a great game at home against Tottenham.
Yes, they did. And West Ham. They beat West Ham as well.
Yes. So don't tell us about, it was Forest.
It's only Forest,
everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Give them some respect.
So I'm going to start. You've mentioned a little bit of everything that I've got on the top 5 talking points. Now we're going to go into the surgery on Monday Madness. All right. Now, BX Gunner said this. Hold the mayo, everyone. But I've been thinking about this a lot. Now, the original version of this was at a crazy talented team called Barcelona for a number of years. And they were superb together, right? Previously, when we had Vieira, Petit, we had, the midfield at Arsenal back in the day, the Rocky, the Paul Davis, the way that they play together in that midfield, but then in that number 10 role, the player that kind of adds to that element, right? Bergkamp was that.
Exquisite.
I mean, exquisite, right? We've had exquisite players in that make up like that trio.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon this is our best trio since the Wenger early days, right?
Yeah.
The Holy Trinity of Arsenal. Everyone, I want you to pay attention to this just a little bit. When Partey plays, we're a better team. When Partey and Xhaka play together, we're an even better team. When these three play together, the leadership, the control of possession, how we go in and out of possession, the people that keep mocking Odegaard, please just take a step back. The same thing with Jesus, because he's not scoring goals. It doesn't mean that he isn't integral to this team. We're not winning those games this season without the way Jesus plays, right?
Very true.
The disrespected three. Well said, Martin. Kev, Xavi, Iniesta, and Messi were the Holy Trinity, Barcelona. And I'm not comparing them to that at all, but I'm creating the Arsenal Holy Trinity, and this is it. Tell me, am I off my rocker, or do you agree with me that these three together with Jesus and the two Wonder Boys on the wings, but just please talk me through this and how important these three are to this team.
Well, Sophie, the best way to gauge it, as we well know, is where are we in the league? That's the best way to gauge how we gauge the Holy Trinity. We're top of the league for a reason. We're top of the league on merit, and we're top of the league because we've been the best team so far this season. That's it. We've been the best team. Now, we know there's certain games that we can moan about. Of course, there's always stuff we can complain about. But, you know, I like to look at the positives. I like to look at the balance we have with two left footers in midfield. The balance we show when we attack. Odegaard's work rate, I'm telling you, many people dispel it like it's nothing. He's got a serious good habit of working hard for the team. And sometimes you do not see the work he does because somebody else wins the ball. But if he doesn't press, we don't win the ball back. Just like Jesus, if he doesn't press, we don't win the ball back behind. So again, these guys deserve a lot of credit because, Sophie, if I'm brutally honest with you, did I see us being top of the league all this time? No. I'll be honest with you. I didn't see us being top. I saw us, and it still might come to that sometime. I hope it don't. I hope we can stay there. I thought for us it would be battling to be in the fourth, in and around the fourth, third spot, you know, battling for that. We're top of the league, Soph. And we've got, 2 league games and obviously 2 cup games before the international break for the World Cup. Now, wouldn't that be such a good thing for us Gooners if we can go into that top of the league? It would be, I know it's not the end, and I'm not saying that, but it's a big tick in the box for us. Massive tick in the box to be leading the league on the break because nobody sees this coming. Everybody wants us to fail, Sophie. Everybody does. Yeah. That's why they keep asking the question, Soph. Yeah. Can Arsenal sustain the title challenge? Can Arsenal win the title? Because they're scared of us, Soph.
We've only lost 1 game as well, Kev. And someone just said the table doesn't lie. And that's what people tell us all the time is that the table doesn't lie. Therefore, you know, we're 2 points ahead. Correct me if I'm wrong, everyone. I don't know because I saw it this morning and I'm like, that can't be right. Are we 15 points ahead of Liverpool?
I think Might be. So I think we are.
I think the squaddies will correct me.
I think we are. So 15 points.
Let's just start with putting some respect on that, number one. You know, we're 5 points ahead of the Spuds. We're 14 points ahead, says Bumpy Johnson. Or are we, E-Ross? You guys let me know. But that is massive. If someone had said to you last season...
15 points, Soph.
Kev, at the beginning of the season, if someone had said to you by the end of October and when November kicks in, we will be 15 points ahead of Liverpool, they would have said, send them to, I've said this, send them
Put
to
the
the
straight
asylum,
jackets on them.
throw the key
Yeah.
away as well, Kev. Throw the key away.
2
I
points
mean,
ahead of City as well. Ooh.
we've lost one game without Thomas Partey yet. We've lost one game all season as well, but I think we've lost more than just one game against Thomas Partey since he started at the Arsenal. Clearly, he's important, and some people were saying, no, Xhaka and Odegaard are useless without Partey. Kev, clearly every team has the general in the midfield, right? We've talked about him working in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
But they all complement each other. Yes, without him, he's integral. But this continual Ozil, because they call him Ozil guard, this continual disrespect for Odegaard, I just don't get it. I don't understand.
So do you know what? It's not for it. The truth of the matter is, it's not for you to get it, because you know what? It's for them to explain it. It's not for us to get it, because we will never get it, because what we see is a quality player. And a player can't play well all the time. I get that, Sophie. But very rarely he's rubbish. Very rarely. The game we played against PSV, the majority of our players were rubbish. Let's be honest. We were rubbish that day, and I could say they were rubbish. But in the league this season, I don't think a lot of the times we've been rubbish. I think we've been really good. Especially from what we're used to. So, yeah, he's a bit different to maybe what people are used to. But one thing you can't do, you can't say he hasn't got quality, and you can't say he can't create, because he does create. And he's adding goals. Yeah, they still moan. Incredible.
Yes. The reason why we didn't qualify, you can't blame, we didn't have Partey, we didn't have Tierney, we didn't have Tomiyasu. There were 3 players.
Too many injuries
and we've also seen
players.
Thomas Partey stink up the joint in some games, right?
Yeah, of course we
And ultimately, we're a team, and we had plenty of opportunities to qualify for the Champions League over 38 games. You can't just blame the last few games of the season. The season doesn't start in March. The season starts in August, and you have to be ready and prepared. And of course, he is so important and integral to us and how we tick. But you can see this season we've only lost one game, and it just so happened, though, Kev, the game we lost to Man United, he wasn't playing.
And I think
I get it.
Listen, we understand what Thomas Partey brings to the table. Sambi can play, but he doesn't have, I always say, Soph, and we always discuss with and without the ball. We've got to be, we said it last season, we've got to be better without the ball. We are a lot better without the ball. But that specialist position at the holding midfield, the number 6, defensive midfielder, that's the key position. We cannot afford to be out of position there, because the likes of Manchester United have the quality there if they get free to unlock you. And that's what happened. And yeah, Sambi's still learning, and we get it. But it still was painful.
Very, definitely. We'll shift gears. Why not? Since I've got Schrodinger's cat flap. What a name for an on-screen name there. Going from a malign player in some areas, Kev, the big talking point before the match, the meltdown on Twitter. Why is he starting Tomiyasu again, left back? What's going on? Tierney, Uber for Tierney. What were your thoughts when you saw Tommy lined up at left back?
Left back.
if you're Tierney as a player, Kev, you take us behind the white lines. You've got to be absolutely 100% pissed off that not only can you not replace the man who replaced you, now you're being replaced by a player who's not a left back. But
he's a player who doesn't. But he's a player who's 100% committed, and he's a player who, yeah, he suffered a little. He suffered an injury, but he's not as injury prone as Tierney. And Tierney started in the week. The key to this is you've got to manage your squad, and that's what Mikel Arteta's doing. And I know. I saw it. People were going absolutely mad. Tierney's this, and we struggle. We struggle when Tomiyasu plays. Did we? Isn't it funny? Where have they all gone?
Well, Kev, I'm going to hold my hand up, and after the PSV game, what I said, and you know I'm a Tommy lover. We've been Tommy lovers. In fact, right in LA, there's a place called Tommy Burgers. If you haven't had one, I mean, it's great. I love Tommy's. Every Tommy I've ever met, I love. And the Tominator has been, I think, nothing short of excellent since he's arrived at Arsenal. Perfect team player, right? Versatile as well. What I said after PSV was what I'm concerned about in some matches, he doesn't offer much going forward. He doesn't interplay. And you and I discussed it too, as well as Benjamin White does with Saka. Of course, he puts in that left-footed cross against Forest. Which can we see more of? What do you say to folks like me who think that, and then you see him put in the left-footed cross and you think maybe that's what Arteta sees in training or wants him to do more of? Trusts him aerially. He trusts him, I think, with defensive duties. I think the big one is one-on-one at the back.
Not only one-on-one, so not only one-on-one, because he's very good at one-on-one. I don't know if you noticed yesterday, Tomiyasu looked comfortable going into midfield.
In the second half, what was that?
Did you see? He was like beside Thomas Partey.
He was playing the Zinchenko. He was playing the Zinchenko role.
And could you see him look uncomfortable in there? He didn't.
No.
And this is probably why Mikel Arteta likes Tomiyasu in there a little bit more than Kieran Tierney, because he's picked it up possibly quicker than Kieran Tierney has. And I understand Kieran Tierney, position for position at left back, Kieran Tierney plays that position better than Tomiyasu going forward because he's a natural lefty. I agree with that, Soph. 100% I agree. But there's more facets to Arsenal's game now than just going down the line. You've got to be able to move forward and come inside beside Thomas Partey. So any balls that pop out, you can get on it and you can keep the attacks going. Tomiyasu done that excellent yesterday. And he even got beyond and put a couple of crosses in. But what does he do? He backs it up from behind. A bit like Zinchenko does. That is what Mikel Arteta wants. He wants total control and domination of possession.
Now, Kev, I know the opposition wasn't as superior to Liverpool, right? But Forest did beat Liverpool, and Forest caused Liverpool problems on those flanks, didn't they?
And counter-attack.
And counter-attack. So I want to measure. I don't think we should measure a player just against the opponent, right? So if Tomiyasu plays brilliantly against Forest, he plays brilliantly against Liverpool, but has a poor game against PSV or Leeds, which, by the way, most of our team did in the second half of both games. PSV, we stunk up the joint collectively as a group. For me, this was an even better performance than the Liverpool game. Am I exaggerating on that front? Because what I saw from him was he was so concentrating on Salah, which was important, and he nullified him. He benched him out of the game. But in terms of the role that Arteta wants him to play, I thought this was one of his best performances in that position. No question, no doubt. And like you said, when I saw him kind of shifting into that midfield role, Xhaka was moving forward. I thought, wow, this was a really complete performance in that role, regardless of who the opponent is. Is that fair or foul?
No, I think it's fair, Soph. I think what what people must understand is when you're playing against a Liverpool, yeah, you're 1v1 against Salah. And other people have to do their jobs. And Salah's your guy. As long as you shut Salah down, then everybody else has to do their bits and you should be all right. The fact of the matter is when you play a lesser team, no disrespect, like Forest, players get more opportunities to do things. So you get the opportunity to move into midfield. You get the opportunity to back play up. You get the opportunity to play forward a lot more because you're dominating possession. So what we saw from Tommy yesterday is Tommy joining in, Tommy helping out in attack, Tommy helping Thomas Partey sat right beside him at times, and everyone's like, whoa, he done it seamlessly. Like he was playing there all the time. So again, he can show more of his ability against lesser opposition, and he done it yesterday.
Credit, Tommy. Well done. Had a great game. Really, for me, one of the best performers yesterday, and a little bit of an unsung hero. Although I think, you know, a lot of fans respect him. This left back, right back thing has thrown people off a little bit. Now, Kev, what I've seen another player that was much maligned, who just continued. He could have given one away yesterday, by the way, Benjamin White, oof, in that penalty box. Everyone's heart sank collectively, but like you said, he saved the day.
I was like, oh.
I thought it was a guaranteed goal, Kev. I was like,
he's going to pull the trigger. And it's Jesse Lingard as well, of all people, you know.
Who was subbed at 55 minutes. I think Jesse Lingard needs to be filed under the Dele Alli folder on the desktop. That guy I don't know what's happened to his game, but my goodness, woof, he's a shadow of the player.
He's not United anymore, is he? So again, sometimes where they dominate games and he's got the quality, hasn't got that quality anymore. Can't do it all on his own.
So these two, Kev, and slowly we continue to see the molding of Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. We've always talked about when he has his players, right? So now
it's all about the players, Soph.
It's all about the players. T-shirts coming.
Got to.
Our good friend Nola Gooners working on it. I'll tell you all about that later, everyone. Now it feels like it's only one game, and I think that was the game Tommy shone in, as I said. But is it possible that now we've got that rhythm? Benjamin on that side, Tommy on this side, working better with Martinelli, playing that Zinchenko role. I mean, for me right now, Kieran Tierney is the Europa League Cup starter. Maybe not in the Zurich game, by the way. But
I think he starts. I think he'll start against Zurich, yeah. I think he'll start against Zurich. I really do.
And the competitiveness, Kev, like it's good for Kieran Tierney, who just was becoming one of those, he just automatically starts players because, let's be honest, Kolasinac wasn't cutting the mustard and there was no one really to come into that position. Of course, Cedric is versatile. But then when Tommy subbed and Cedric comes on, what did you think of that?
Yeah, I think you've got to try and give some players some minutes. He's fit. And Kieran Tierney, again, started in midweek, so didn't have a great game, did he, against PSV? But as we said, nobody did. But there again, you're trying to manage players, aren't you? This is what the manager has to do. He has to manage players. I mean, could you imagine it would have went pear-shaped, him bringing Reece Nelson on? Could you imagine the stick he would have got?
Well, let's get to that too, shall we?
No, I don't want to get to that yet. But I just want to say, steady self. I just want to say, it's the manager's job to try and. There's a lot of players you got to try and keep happy. Kieran Tierney, I believe, is going to start on Thursday, and rightly so. I still think there's opportunities where, moving forward, Kieran Tierney's going to start certain games ahead of Tommy Arsu. It's just what it is. I think, depending on the opposition. Then when Zinchenko comes back, then obviously there's times where Zinchenko's going to start above those two. He's got the opportunity now to be able to mix and match, so which is what we want as a squad. We want to be able to. This one, he's played midweek. We could put this one in, and we could change them out. So I think it's good management.
And also 9 games in October. We've played 9 games this month. And like Lone Star says, 1 loss. And if the manager wasn't rotating the team, we would all be going nuts. And he made the subs at the right spot, gave the right players the rest. Man, he kept Jesus on to try and get that goal. And it just
I'll tell you something. If ever there was one game to lose, it was last Thursday.
Agree.
If ever there was, we hate losing. Of course we do. We're getting used to winning again. But if ever there was one game to lose, it was last Thursday, because that's still the league is still in of Europa is still in our own hands. What have we got to do? We've got to beat Zurich at home. If we can't get that done, Soph, we might as well turn the lights out. That's what we might as well do. And in the league, we're still top. So if ever there was one game to lose, you know what? Fair enough. We didn't play well. And he trusted other players. He trusted the other players midweek. Didn't quite work out. And then the starters who we want wrapped up, he had to try and bring on to salvage it. Didn't quite work out, Soph. But you know what, Sophie? We got the response we wanted. We needed a response. And they responded. Responded.
Bearded Gooner and I said the same thing. If you're going to lose a game, let it be that game against PSV. Let it not be against Forest in the league. Because that would have been a confidence killer. And Kev, nail on head, and we talked about it, even when Saliba scored the own goal, bounce back, boom, we get one. Gabriel makes a mistake against Fulham, Mitrovic scores, boom, Gabriel comes back, gets a goal. We lose to PSV collectively. What's happening after that? And then bouncing back and beating Forest, who just beat Liverpool 5-0 at home. A team full of confidence coming into that, thinking, oh, we could take on the Gunners as well. Boom, we win. The mental attitude of this team is exactly what we've been missing from Arsenal Football Club for years, isn't it, Kev? It's unreal how engaged they are 90 minutes plus.
Well,
and in between.
I've got to say, I think the fans play a massive part in itself. The fans have been absolutely incredible. The atmosphere, the connection with the players, and it makes the players hungry to start fast. You can see we start so fast. You know, it's daunting for teams to come to the Emirates now. Whereas, you know, teams used to come there and think, oh, nice pitch, nice stadium. You know, now they're like, who's going to get us? Is it Jesus? Is it Martinelli? Is it Saka? Is it Ødegaard? Is it Xhaka? You know, 5 players who can score goals. We're sharing the goals out, which is brilliant.
O'Hara said, which I think is funny because I've heard a few people say it now. When Jesus went off the boil, everyone thought the wheels would fall off a little bit. When the Jesus, you know, euphoria and swagger
he had early season.
When that dropped, people thought Arsenal would drop as well. Now, there's a big difference between when Aubameyang was the main man. When he dropped, we did drop. When Lacazette stopped, we did stop. You know, we were relying on Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka to get our goals. Now you're getting wonder goals from Thomas Partey. Ødegaard is scoring. Martinelli is scoring. Saka is supplying. He's getting his goals too. Xhaka is scoring. That is a huge Grand Canyon-style hole that we have been able to fill and was our Achilles heel for what, 3 or 4 seasons, Kev? I mean, maybe even longer with having to be reliant on one player. And I'm glad that he recognized that because I think it's massive.
Team. Team ethic.
So I want to get to Gabriel Jesus because we touched on it just a little bit in your opening commentary. But you win 5-0, he doesn't score. And there's a lot of fans that are us, and we all want him to score. We all want him to get that goal. My goodness, he could have had a couple yesterday, but he didn't. But what he did off the ball, what he did collectively in his unit, in that front three, and then hustling back, Kev, is unbelievable. But there are a few fans that are worried that he's tracking too far back. Faz Hamid wrote, and I'm encapsulating this for a few. I don't want Jesus to change. His overall contribution has uplifted the entire team. The goals will come. His influence has been immense.
Well
And then
said,
there was
Faz.
a couple of others asking, is he doing too much going back? What's your take? Encapsulate it for me, Kev,
Well,
as a forward.
here's the funny thing, Soph. If he was doing the tracking back, but wasn't getting the chances, then you could say, you're doing too much. You need to be that. And we want him to be up there and scoring the goals. But his all-round play makes us better, Sophie. And his goals will come. And you know what? His goals will come when we need them most, I believe. When everybody else is scoring, great, fantastic. Jesus, he needs a tap-in, Soph. He needs a couple of tap-ins. He needs one across a Reece Nelson one where somebody sticks it in. He just gets a nice tap-in. Sweet. That's what he needs. Do you know what I'd do? I'd play him against Zurich on Thursday. I would. I'd stick him up there and said, right, you got 65 minutes, Gabriel. Go and cause havoc. Get yourself a couple of goals if you can, and then you're coming off. That's what I'd do. But is he doing too much? Sophie, he's young, he's energetic, he wants to work for the team. And you know what? He makes us better. He makes us a better side. So he's doing a lot, but it's not too much because he's still getting opportunities at the other end. So it's only a matter of time. And you know what? When he starts scoring again, what are the opposition gonna do?
No.
So we could. This isn't the height of our ceiling. We could get better.
I just think I watch him and I think he's so impressive. And you're right, Lone Star. Midfielders are scoring. So many comments about people don't realize what a good player he is. Let's have a discussion. What Jesus is doing is absolutely amazing. What a player. Brace is coming against Chelsea, by the way. Just wait. Stephen says Jesus is still playing with swagger. He's finishing just as let him down. Kev, he got 2 or 3 assists yesterday.
Yeah, what is it? I think he got recorded with 2 assists, right? But he was involved in so much of the other goals as well.
Yeah,
he's such a good player, Sophie. And you know what? Defense is, you have to account for this guy. So. Yeah. Where's Jesus? And Jesus will take somebody there, and then Erdegaard, he's right in the middle of the box. How do you reckon Erdegaard gets all that space in the middle of the box? Because of Jesus. Mm-hmm. We never saw Erdegaard get that space when Lacazette was there.
I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, for a defense? We move so quickly. Where am I going? Am I going for Martinelli? Am I going for Jesus? Am I going to cover Saka? And then you've got Odegaard bursting through the middle. You've got
Xhaka joining in,
coming in, box to box, and I've not seen this for a long time. And I think Fluid Flow said as well with regards to the goals and being reliant on a play. It goes back to the Robin van Persie days, maybe. I think he might be right. And Devon Fuller thinks you're right as well. Okay, hit those likes. 440 of you in live chat.
Tammy how many
Steele's,
likes? How
Chief
many likes?
Officer.
Tammy, how many likes, please?
We've got a couple of announcements to make at the very end of the show, so you're not going to want to miss those. Gooner Russ, say hi to Lucy. He's had to leave. You have to rewind it and watch it. And you're right, Dempsey. What a finish from Odegaard. It was lovely. It was absolutely fantastic. Superb. All right, so we've talked about Tommy. We've talked about Jesus. We've talked about the Holy Trinity. I've got one more before we're going to leave the one that you mentioned earlier to the end. So, Kev, collectively, the air went out of the Emirates when our boy Wonder went down.
Hmm.
I mean, it was evident because the team kind of lost their bubble and sprite after he went down. And seeing him down, you see the concern here of Jesus. Um, you see Xhaka checking in on him.
You see,
Mikel
everybody
Arte-
come over, didn't you?
yeah,
Everyone came over to him.
because it's unusual, to see Saka going off. Arteta's played it coy. So our good friend Tom Canton was in the press conference, and Mikel Arteta was asked, not by Tom, but he was asked about the injury. And he's been asked about Zinchenko. Zinchenko's not training. Yes, we know he has a muscle injury. Is it? We don't know. He plays it so coy, right? And same thing with Saka, didn't reveal too much. And I always say sometimes, governments reveal too much because there's an enemy out there listening to everything that you're saying.
Of course. Of course.
Arteta's secrecy is frustrating some fans. And, do we want him to be more transparent? Yes. But do we want him to let us know the numbers to like the nuclear weapon? No. Kev,
Yes,
in
you
your
do.
experience,
If you're getting frustrated about it, you do.
take me into the dressing room, because I think you played for a manager who was a little bit worse than
Oh, a lot
Arteta
worse.
at this.
George Graham was a lot worse. He wouldn't give nothing away because he knows the opposition are listening to every single word he says. And that just one slip of the tongue could give something away. And that's not how professional sport is at the top level a lot of the time. You've got to be smart. You've got to be coy. You've got to play the fool to catch the wise. So, and you got to play. Mama Campbell said that you got to play the fool to catch the wise. Play like you don't know. Oh, he's got a knock, but I'm not too sure. Play like you don't know. Next game, he's out there. Opposition have no idea what's going on. So might wrap him in cotton wool. Saka struggling. Don't play midweek. Saka struggling next minute. Stamford Bridge is out there. They think it's going to be someone else. So you've got to play it smart. Got to.
Yeah. I mean, I think I just put it up 3 weeks. I mean, honestly, we don't know. We don't. Is that an official statement from the club that it's 3 weeks and that he's turned his ankle? I haven't seen anything.
Well, he got a kick on it, didn't he? He got a kick on it. Listen.
I mean, I don't think he's going to be available against Chelsea. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Listen, ice on a slice, he'll be all right. Don't worry about that. Get a bit of ice on it, he'll be all right. Get some of them heat lamps on it. That's a game he want to play in, definitely.
So when Saka went off, Kev, take a deep breath. Just going to hand it over to you. When Saka went off, Chief Like Officer Tammy says 207. We have 440 in chat. Not bad going,
13.
Chief Like
Need a
Officer.
little cheeky 13, squaddies. Come on.
All right, let's make this happen. My cousin George. What's he doing bringing on Reece Nelson? He's shit. I can't believe it. Right. Why is he? Where's Marquinhos? Everyone, right? Kev. If there's an Arsenal fan out there that says they saw that coming, liar, liar, your pants are well on fire. There's no way any Arsenal fan saw this coming. Talk about wait. By the way, Reece Nelson has scored more goals than Jordan Sancho this season.
I think it's equal, isn't it?
Jadon Sancho, sorry.
Jadon is equal. 2 goals is equaled it, isn't it, in one game?
Has he got 2 or 3? Anyway, yeah.
Well, 2. If he's equaled it, he's got. I think Jadon's got 2 league goals.
The fact that he's got that, is amazing. Kev, patience as a footballer. You've played and captained teams where you try to tell young players, even a young Wayne Rooney, wait for your turn, be patient. What did you make of this substitution and Reece Nelson's cameo appearance for the Gunners at the weekend.
Sophie, I'll be honest. I didn't see the substitution coming, but when he brought him on, I thought, what a great opportunity for Reece. And the key is, like we always say, Sophie, when that opportunity comes, you've got to take it. For finally, and I hope this is the case, Reece Nelson is bridging that gap from under 23 football, on loan football, to Arsenal's first team. Because you just need to listen to Mikel Arteta, the way he speaks about him. Speaks so highly of the young man. We know he's got the talent, Sophie, don't we? We know he's a good player, but we just don't see it at first team level enough. But let's be honest, Sophie, he grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. He really did. Some great play, obviously, by Martinelli and Jesus to get him the opportunity. Good little slip inside the fullback. First shot saved, second shot, top corner. Absolutely excellent. And then Odegaard and Jesus combine, and there he's actually where Jesus should be. In the box to get a little tap in. 2 goals. Ice on a slice, Bigsy. And you know the script. Listen, Reece Nelson, salute you, man. I salute you. That is absolutely fantastic play to help the Arsenal get that victory. And I hope and pray you can keep on being a key member of this squad, because I think you know you need to be a squad player. But if you're going to come off the bench and make cameos like that, and you know what, Soph? We need players who are going to make impacts from the bench. That's what we need. Reece Nelson done it yesterday. He was excellent yesterday. And we saw him on the right. We saw him on the left. We saw him at centre forward. We saw him go in wherever he needed to go to cause havoc. And again, I just sincerely hope we can get him involved in a lot more wins. We can get seeing his talent, because undoubtedly he has the talent, Soph. We just need to see more of it. But well done, Reece.
Ian says, nicely said, Super Kev. Bench impact, Miss ESR. Yeah, he's still to come.
We need to get him back as well. Yeah.
His movement was impressive. Rich says, can you imagine the spring in Nelson's step when he turns up to training today? Jean Rene, it's true. KC, the manager's always spoken well of Reece. It's in his hands. It is for Nketiah. Come on, you Gunners. Keep on going. Liz says he took his opportunity. Shellington, he's a high confidence player. The bulb was so bright after he scored. Trevor, he'll now need to show consistency to shut up everybody. I'll save that question for later. Get your questions in right now for Super Kev. We've got him for a few more minutes here. Always open it up now on Monday Madness for you guys to ask him questions. Hi, Lynn. How you doing? Kev, with that said, okay, you said something there, and we talked about it a little bit in the green room. I think we need to be careful when some of us get excited about a player, but need to understand, like you said, if he can come off the bench and do this, which Eddie Nketiah has failed to do this season, really, let's be honest, right? In order to be prolific in the Premier League, consistent, competitive, you need that bench to be strong. And a few questions have come in for you about our bench. And the difference this season, what you think of the bench. Reece isn't a starter for me. Eddie Nketiah is not a starter for me. But the importance of understanding the difference between having them be, they're patient enough to be part of it. If you're coming on and scoring goals, they're going to be cool with that, are they not? He's going to be cool with that if he gets another shot in Europa League this Thursday, whether he starts or comes off the bench for Martinelli. You know, That's the difference, I think. That's
Start
where
for
some fans
Saka.
get caught in.
Now he's put himself in the frame to start the European game. That's what he's done. That's the key about all this. Those players on the bench who get the opportunity in Europe, so they've got to deliver. This is the name of the game. Because if you're not delivering when you get your chance in Europe, there might be an opportunity you don't make the bench. And when you do get your chance in the first team, like when an injury comes, you're not in the right frame of mind to take it because your form's poor. And it's not as if you're playing against top Premiership teams or Premiership level players really in the Europa. You know, you're playing against not PSV, good side. But apart from that, the others, you should be able to do something. Mm-hmm. So, again, there is that bridge that these lads have to cross and bridge it to the Arsenal starting 11. And if you do get your chance, you've got to be doing it in the Europa. You've got to be doing it in the cup games that you play, so you're ready. And Reece Nelson, fair play to him. He's took his chance. He scored 2 goals in a 5-0 win. I'm sure he's saying to me, listen, I want to play on Thursday.
You remember after that Bodo game where he wasn't that great, everyone was like, he should never, you know. I mean, I wasn't impressed. Nobody was really impressed. You know, it's fair's fair. And Eddie's been really poor coming off the bench. If Reece can come on and score goals, Kev, just to dig into the bench a little bit deeper, are you worried about Fabio Vieira at all? Just needs time to settle in?
No, I'm not worried about Fabio Vieira. Look, we know what Fabio Vieira is right now. He's a player who's got to find his feet. He's got to strengthen. And we know he's got good ability, but he's only just, it's his first season. He's not really starting. So we've got to be a little bit patient with him, guys. We can't just expect him for it to happen for him like that. There will be times, maybe second half of the season, where we'll expect him to step up a bit because we've had the break, and then we're going to look to maybe push. Remember, we're going to have League Cup games, obviously coming up, FA Cup games in the new year. So there's going to be opportunities for him to really be a star and a starter at times. So we've got to be a little bit smart with him. So,
yeah,
but our bench definitely isn't strong enough. And I expect, like last January where we didn't strengthen, I don't think we make the same mistake this January. So
I hope not, Kev, because we're in an even better position.
Well, this is the whole point. If we're top, so what a position of strength that is.
You've got to capitalize on that. That's a nice mug. Let's have a look at that. There you go. Your Brock the Neck. Get it at our store. Remember, all sales go to Gooners v Cancer and our
very
Arsenal
good Christmas
artists.
Presents, guys. Very good Christmas presents.
Brilliant Christmas presents. And in case you would like to see this wonderful mug.
Are you calling me a mug?
I wouldn't dare. Modeled.
Yeah, I've been called worse, Soph. Come on.
Here is the resident model modeling for us. There you go. Look at that. There's the T-shirt. There's the mug. And we got more coming. We got the Sophie shirt. You see, there's not as much of that being yelled at me this season.
Hey, Soph, isn't it funny?
Our lovely models.
Isn't it funny, Soph? All of a sudden, me and you ain't Barneying anymore. Winning kills all, I told ya.
Yeah, so does Xanax.
Yeah.
I tell you, Kev's going to be brocking some on tomorrow's show, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Okay, here we go, Kev. Let's have a discussion. Wants to know your player of the season up until now and player for this month. I like questions like that.
Player for the season. I I still think he's Jesus because he's made us a lot better. I think Saliba's been very good as well. Jacques has been very good as well. Thomas Partey's been good. But I think Jesus, I think even when Jesus isn't scoring, you could see the overall influence he has on the team. He's so good. And again, opposition defenses detest this guy. They really do. They detest him because he's everywhere. He's defending 1 minute. 1 minute he's at the top end of the pitch. He's creating. He's non-stop. So I would say Gabriel Jesus is our star performer so far. But there's many who are close.
Isn't it great to kind of have a problem to pick one? It's, I think Jesus has had a massive impact not only on the pitch, off the ball, but in the dressing room. And the fact that he may not score goals and it might not be going his way in his primary position, but the fact that he hustles every single game and players see that week in, week out, they don't stop either.
That's right.
And I think that is a fundamental difference to this team. Benjamin White's mental's different. Even, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Saliba's come back like a mental giant, right? Saka and Martinelli playing with Jesus, you could tell they just love it. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to pick one, but I understand why you've picked him. Lucas says, best show on earth with Super Kev and Super Soph. Big love to the Gooner family and the squaddies. Thanks. Well,
thanks, Lucas. Thank you.
Excellent stuff. All right, next question. We did the thoughts on the bench. Okay, runs with cows. If we don't make the group of 16 on Thursday, is it the end of the world if we get to thump Barcelona 4-0?
Run with cows. We will make the group of 16 and we will win on Thursday. Come on. Be positive. And we still might get to hump Barcelona 4-0. So you might get everything you want.
I've got no sympathy for that team. None at all. Ian says, Super Kev, why have we started playing that Zinchenko role now? Is it to do with Xhaka's new forward role?
No. It's all connected because if you're comfortable in the midfield for a fullback to do that job, Xhaka can't be in midfield, can he? Because it'd be too congested. So that then frees Xhaka to move forward. Because if you notice, when a lot of the time when Kieran Tierney plays, Xhaka doesn't get forward as much. So there you go.
Okay, and it was Matty K, sorry there, Matty K, who asked the question about Jesus coming in too deep, and Kev answered that one. Granit Xhaka testimonial incoming.
Hey, listen, he might get it. I'll tell you what. Listen, you know what? You know my thoughts. I'm not ashamed to say it. I said he shouldn't play for the club again, but my God, he's been incredible this season. He really has been incredible this season, and do you know what he's proven? He's kept his mouth shut and he's proven what a quality player he is. So if he gets a new contract, who's going to complain? I ain't going to complain. Listen, he can keep doing the business for Arsenal, Granit. That's what I would say. Keep doing the business.
Long may it continue. If he succeeds
and
the team does, we as fans are happy. Do you think Nelson gets a new contract? You touched on that just a little bit. I don't think now's the time to be talking about handing out new contracts, Kev. But if he carries on coming off the bench like this and doing bits.
Listen, I think if he has a good 5-6 months, why not? Give him a couple of years. He's only young. He's a baby still. Still a baby. He gets 2-3 years to be part of a, touch wood, a very successful team moving forward. And everybody wants to be part of a successful side.
Yes. Did I have a I did. I had an epic day. And you know what? MLS Cup final is in LA and it's going to be epic, Kev. The team with the best record gets to host MLS Cup final. and it's going to be here between the two best teams in the league, and it's epic. Saw
Who's gonna win?
Will Ferrell last night, and Owen Wilson. Coach Beard sent me a note because he was watching, but he wasn't able to be at the game. I think it's written for LAFC to win it. It's written in the stars. And you know what? They've done it without Gareth Bale. He's been on the bench. Chiellini yesterday, Kev, that old geezer. Oh my gosh! In the first half,
He's
you'd
a
think that
monster.
absolute monster. I tell you, one of the nicest men in football, Super Kev Chiellini. What a classy guy.
Mm,
Just brilliant, absolutely brilliant with the media. And he's a chatterbox. And Carlos Vela, it's nice to see the old Arsenal boy
doing well.
doing well.
Yeah.
Here's a cheeky one from Don Juan. Kev, how many points will Arsenal win the league by?
I'm not sure, but if we do win it, I'll tell you what, as long as it's one more than the opposition, I don't care, Don.
Amira, I'm going to put this up, but Kev did touch on this at the beginning. With this team, when we win, it's young and hungry, full of energy. When we lose, it's tired, leggy minutes need to be managed better. So which is it? Where's the balance to this, in your opinion?
Winning cures everything, Amira. You know that. When we win, you never hear about tiredness. Never. All of a sudden, we don't get the job done. Oh, they look leggy, then this, that, the other nonsense.
Never true.
A lot of our problems have been we haven't been clinical enough. That's been the problem.
True.
That's been our problem.
Because we would have beat United if we were clinical, Kev.
If we're clinical, I think also, Sophie, that disallowed goal that the referee took off us with VAR, we go up in that game, I think we win the game.
Totally.
But they're the margins at the top. And to be fair to Man United, they were clinical on the day. You know, they pegged us back because of the VAR, etc. They took the lead. They were more clinical than us. But against Southampton, we should have been out of sight in the first half. So it shouldn't even have got to Welegi.
No one will ever forgive Chiellini for his horse collar on.
Listen, anything to win, Soph. Anything to win.
It's not baseball, Don Juan. Jeez, hilarious. Will KC give not a chance in France? But we are giving something out in about 2 minutes here, so it's happening tonight. But it's not happening for Newman, not from KC.
Hey, I'll give him one all right. That Newman. You'll get a clump.
Sorry, Lone Star. I know you're Austin lost. No, you couldn't, Newman. You think it's easy? Yeah, it's not. It's such a joke. I don't even know why I bother putting his comments up half the time. Right. Let's see, Kev. A couple more for you here. I know you've got another show to do. How many minutes? 2 minutes? I can do the housekeeping stuff. Well, one I need you for. Let's do this because I think this is quite interesting with El Neni coming back from injury. Do we need to still try? I'm just going to let Kev answer.
Yes,
I mean, it's great that he's coming back from injury, Kev.
But you know, we do need another midfielder. So whether he can play CDM or attacking or whatever, we do need another midfielder for sure.
Okay. Real quick, do we start Partey versus Zurich?
No, we don't. I think we'll have enough, but we keep him on the bench just in case.
Malaysian Gooner says, hello, squaddies. And he always asks how your time is in Malaysia and if you're being treated well, Kev.
Malaysia was wonderful, and the treatment, Mel, was absolutely outstanding. Hopefully in the new year, I'll get to go back. Absolutely loved it. And where I was, oh my goodness, absolutely fantastic. Fantastic place.
Brilliant stuff. We got 40 likes to go. And it just so happens that this lady right here is on screen right now. How many exactly, Tammy? We got 40. So we've got 260. We're trying to get to 300. There's been 400 plus, still 400 plus in live chat. We'll get to the Ruben Neves and there's going to be plenty of time for that stuff, you guys. I'm going to do something right now. By the way, on tomorrow's show, because we're going to end it on a lovely little high here. You're not going to want to miss tomorrow's show. It's earlier than scheduled, 1:30 p.m. UK time. You guys Loved it when Stevie Nicol came on because Kev gave it based on some of the stuff he said about Saka. This fella has been giving it over and over again on the sports bar. And tomorrow, live at 1:30 p.m. UK time, we have Mr. Jason Cundy coming on to review the Arsenal v Chelsea game with us. What perfect timing, Kev, to get this fella on after what happened to Chelsea over the weekend.
So, look, it's time for us Gooners to get our revenge on him. to give him a bit of a hard time, because you know what? I've had enough of these guys digging us out over the years. Now it's our turn. We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna be respectful as we always are, but we're gonna put his feet to the heat.
We certainly are. I sent him a text today. He's really looking forward to coming on, you guys. Absolutely love it. I love it. So yes, 1:30 tomorrow. Don't miss it. Jason Cundy coming on. It will be a really good laugh, as well as, yeah, you're not going to want to miss his interaction with Kev as well.
You know what? We're going to ask squaddies. I want you to get your best Jamie O'Hara questions to him.
Yes.
Don't forget.
Yes. Perfect.
He's gone a bit quiet, hasn't he?
This morning, he had the audacity to say there's an agenda against Spurs.
Yeah, there is. Actually, Soph, there is an agenda. It's not against, it's for them.
Yes,
always has been. They get away with murder.
Yeah. Ever since the Poch days. Harry Kane, Golden Boy,
get away
England.
With murder. That's all right. You know, listen, we all know the flannel, Soph. It's all flannel.
Love it. Brilliant stuff. Funny. All right, guys, we're so close to 300, so close. So get it there. As you know, okay, I've been so touched, and so has Kevin, by some of the letters we've been getting from people nominating folks for our Highbury Squad coin, right? Really unbelievable stuff. It's just amazing to hear what people say about our show and us, you guys, the community, what it means to them. They feel like they've made friends from all over the world. Lots of people out there suffering, you guys. It's not an easy time. And some of the letters we've been getting are just so heartfelt. So to each and every one of you who's been sending letters in, thank you so much. We are going to give away our first coin this evening. And Kev and I thought, what better place to start than right here on the show with the folks who are with us most nights, waxing lyrical, giving us a little bit of shite as well, and talking with each other as friends around the world. So, Kev, I'm going to let everyone know who gets our first Highbury Squad Zenith coin.
Well, got to say a big thank you to Zenith Coins. Absolutely fantastic people to work with. And if you haven't got your coin,
the Highbury Squad is powered by Zenith.
Sorry, premature.
No, that's all right. No,
I was doing this.
Yeah, but that's cool. And that's a good plug. Obviously, do the Arsenal, who we all love, and they've recognized us to do a coin with as well, which is great. But I've got to say, this person turns up every time the show's on and does such a fantastic job. We call upon her so much. And I've got to say, Miss Tammy Steele, it's you, Tammy. You are the winner, salute you, for the Highbury Squad coin, my love. Well done. And keep up the great work. Squaddies, give her a number one, please. Give her drop a one in for Tammy.
Our chief like officer, as Kev said it all, here with us every single night.
Every night.
yes, let's break Newman's heart at the same time too.
Oh, the
Everyone,
rocket.
congratulations, Tammy. Well deserved. We will get your coin out to you. Thank you for all that you do in supporting us. And she's always sending lovely notes. And one, she's getting it's all happening. Totally
Yeah.
deserved.
Nice.
You're right.
One for Tammy. She's number one. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much.
Brilliant stuff. All right. So that's it. That's the first one, our first giveaway. Congratulations to Tammy. You're getting a lot of love. You can see it. Oh, I can't keep up. I can't keep up with it. Well done. I love it. I love upsetting Newman. It's fantastic. Tammy gives her Sally Field speech. I really
Also,
love you all. So humble.
Can I add something to that, Soph?
Yes.
Tammy, also, once I get the nod from Sophie, you will also be receiving a Paul Davis book.
I haven't told them about that yet, Kev.
Well, I've just told Tammy.
Yeah,
There you
I love
go.
it.
Tammy will receive a Paul Davis book as well. So well done. Double bubble you get today.
I told you guys a couple weeks ago that we are going to be the gift that keeps on giving this holiday season. We love to share, all right? And we love you guys. So we'll keep them coming. Tomorrow night during the show, there's going to be a very special promo. So you're going to want to listen out for that. Our good friends at ZENITH, once again, just delivering. So it's going to be a fantastic build up to the holiday season here at Squad Central. That is all I can say. Our revamped store is coming soon. We'll announce that in a few days. Remember, everything we sell, use code VINNY, get 20% off, and it goes to Gooners v Cancer and to our artists in our community. Speaking of artists, Kev, I've got one more. Wednesday is season 2 premiere of Talented Gooners, and we have this fella on, Del Llewellyn, who has done an amazing job with his art.
Unbelievable.
He has, I mean, he's delivered art to Arsene Wenger. There's pictures of Messi with his art, Xavi. He's got an incredible story. Talented Gooners season 2, Super Kev. I know you love his work. Is coming Wednesday night. So with a gift that keeps on giving, content-wise and gift-wise.
Tammy, you better believe it.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Right, tomorrow 1:30, don't forget it. Super Kev, I hand it over to you.
Right, squaddies. Tammy, enjoy. You deserve it. Everybody else, keep going. It might be you next time. Look after yourself. And Newman, no more art. Take care, everybody. Look after yourself. And love and care for each other and the people you love. Take it easy, squaddies. At ease, squaddies. At ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
The Highbury Squad is powered by ZENITH Coins. Support the future, treasure the past. Official licence partner of the Arsenal Football Club. Follow at ZENITH Coins across all social platforms.